So, I was at the Boardwalk Lotus dealer in Redwood City, California with my buddy Mark, who was taking delivery of his new Emira. More on that though in another video. And in the showroom, they happen to have a pretty special Emira, the GT4 race car. Now, I'm told that only 3 of these have been delivered to the US and they start around $250,000. Probably not a surprise, but this is comparable to the price of a Cayman GT4 Club Sport. But as I was admiring the GT4, I noticed a little something in the passenger seat area, an owner's manual. And yeah, of course, the owner's manual for a race car is a little different than a normal factory owner's manual. As you can see, it's basically just like a 3-ring binder, nothing fancy. Probably has a bunch of alignment and suspension settings in there to help you set up the car. What I found especially interesting was this little logo for a company called RML Group. I hadn't heard of them before, so I looked them up. And sure enough, they're the ones who build the Emira GT4 for Lotus. My immediate thought was, why not Lotus Sport? Sometimes they call it Lotus Racing, which is kind of the subdivision within Lotus that had been responsible for race cars and special editions in the past. Some cars like the GT1, the Elise Motorsport, the Evora GT4, and the Cup cars for the various Lotus Cup racing series. I did a little digging and I couldn't really find out much other than that they've been outsourcing a lot more of their race car projects. So if you know what happened to Lotus Sport, please share in the comments. Leave a comment and tell us what is going on with Lotus Sport. So who is the RML Group and how'd they become the folks that Lotus tapped to build the Emira GT4? Although maybe not so well known here in the US, RML is quite accomplished in the racing community, with efforts dating back to the 1980s when the company was founded. Probably the best known efforts are the Aston Martin Nimrod, the Celine S7, that weird Nissan Delta Wing thing, and more recently, their own RML short wheelbase, a modern tribute to the Ferrari 250 short wheelbase of the 1960s. But they've also won the British Touring Car Championship 8 times. Discovering that this relatively small company is responsible for the Emira GT4 caught my interest and raised a lot of questions, like what do they start with? How do they build a GT4? Do they take a stock Emira and strip it down, or do they get a bare chassis and build it up? And how long does it take? Well, I reached out to RML to get these answers. It turns out that the Emira GT4 arrives at RML as basically a regular Emira road car chassis with its front and rear subframes, but these are modified for the GT4, such as with the addition of the roll cage. The whole car is built up from this bare chassis into a GT4 from the individual parts and assemblies. Lotus themselves rework the engine before shipping it to RML for installation, and there it's attached to a sequential race transmission from Hewland. This is something that is not found on the production Emiras at all. And as you can see, the GT4 also uses the larger TVS 1900 supercharger compared to the Edelbrock 1740. The interior is pure race car, with racing seats, harnesses, dashboard with data logging, a race steering wheel, fire suppression, and all the stuff that you would normally see on a stripped-down car for the track. It's got an ATL fuel cell, Öhlins TTX suspension, and upgraded brakes with Bosch adjustable motorsports ABS. The final step of production of an Emira GT4 is installing the bodywork, which I learned that only modified road car bodywork can be used in the GT4 class. And additional pieces, like the splitter and the rear wing, actually aren't carbon fiber because it's not allowed per regulations. Instead, they're manufactured from a natural fiber material, which probably explains that when I saw it in the showroom, I was kind of surprised at its appearance, which seemed really, pretty low quality. I just thought, oh, it's a race car, they didn't bother to make it look nice. But now, I know that the reason is because it's not actually traditional carbon fiber. Building a GT4 like this takes about 4 weeks per car. And then RML tests each car on the track before signing off that everything is up to their high standards before handing the car back over to Lotus for delivery to a lucky customer. Some folks have already taken delivery of their Emira GT4s and are enjoying them on the track, the natural habitat for a car like this. Maybe Maybe I should grab my checkbook and head back down to Boardwalk and pick this one up before it's gone. As always, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.